Welcome back to Mcoc Albundyrules. I got part 2 for Dynamic Duo, starting off with Colossus and Omega Red. And similar to part 1, I want both of these Dynamic Duos to be champs you can use. You're not just bringing one just for the other. So starting with Colossus, his synergy with Omega makes it easy to ramp up massive damage. So these two make a great duo together because of their synergy together is really what it goes. Colossus gets 2% attack rating for each armor up buff, and well-timed blocks grant armor up buff. So, meaning you can parry to get armor up, and you get extra damage on those armor up. Giving you a lot of damage, you stack 10, 20 plus armor ups, you're getting some serious extra damage from this. In fact, before I pulled Omega, some of you have seen, I just pulled Omega not too long ago, maybe less than 2 months ago. After years of trying to get him, look at that damage, boom, boom, boom. And now we're going to see some more massive damage coming out. And before I pulled Omega, I refused to rank up Colossus past R4 because I just didn't find him very fun to use without the Omega synergy, and I didn't like bringing 4 stars Omega just for the synergy alone because can't really use him in some content. You can't even bring 4 stars. So once I got him as a 5-star, look at that smacky dab 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 damage going on there. Once I pulled Omega, I immediately R5'd Omega and immediately R5 Colossus as well, and now using them as a dynamic duo constantly. Love them, love them. This is a pretty old school dynamic duo since Colossus's buff anyways, and pretty well known, but some people still don't fully understand just how good it is and how much potential they really give each other. And looking at that damage, you can just smack. So I'm just using this fight so I can really show you some ramp up right there as I'm getting around those 29 plus armor ups on some of that damage. And Wolverine's doing what he does in this fight, regenerating like crazy. But that gives me a chance to use him more of a punching bag just so I can show you some of the damage he can get going on there. Now going into the next fight on Colossus, before I get ready to show you what Omega Red can bring with this synergy as the other half of the dynamic duo here in part 2. Part 1 of my dynamic duo video was very well received, very liked, so I didn't waste any time in making the sequel. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure you do watch it after this one. I'll be sure to leave a little thumbnail at the end of this so you can get to it nice and easy, or if not, just go through my channel and check it out. Uploaded that not too long ago. Again, we're seeing some pretty good damage, doing some pretty mainly parry and heavies there, but I'll throw some other stuff in there depending on if I intercept or what it is. And you can see some great attacks and great damage going on. Those special 2s be rocking and rolling. I was having some control issues though, if you're wondering what the heck I was doing. Sometimes there's still some parry and dex bugs going on now. Although I will give Kabam credit, they've been given lots of comps, so I won't complain. So now let's look at Omega. So this synergy also leads to great damage output for Omega. That's something that makes this synergy so awesome. They both increase their damage. So Omega Red gets 4% critical damage for each death spore on the opponent. So if you're running suicides with Omega, or when you're bleeding, you're able to get those 30 death spores. So guess what? 4% times 30 equals 120% increase. How's that for some extra smacky dab dab boom boom chuckalaka? Yeah. So you're seeing numbers all over the place right there. I got those 30 death spores, the melting off, got the crits going. It's just going nuts. Omega is so much fun, especially with suicides, and way so much fun with Colossus. Gotta love it. So we're seeing again, there's so much numbers flying around, they don't even know what's going on anymore, right? So we see that, we're looking at that I am Groot. Let's wrap this up and smack it around with that S2. Oh yeah. So now we got this Professor X, a little bit of some parts of the fights, and all these fights similar to part 1. I have fights from all different types of content, just some different areas I could get to. Not too overly complicated to get to. So there you just saw the DOT just finish up Professor X. I backed off and just let him fall down from the DOT, staying close. And as long as he's staying close, those spores stay up. Don't even got to be hitting them. Also, I hit into the blocks a lot. So we see that. So similar to that, I'll do a variety of content. You'll see ROL, a little bit of story, a little bit of LOL, some EQ. See a variety of stuff just to show you a little bit. I'm not showing you the best, top, greatest highlights ever, but showing you some pretty basic, somewhat standard gameplay for the most part is my main goal. Nothing too over the top, but also nothing too lackluster either. Trying to do stuff that's usually pretty doable in the basic contents is the goal. So as we're wrapping up our first of the dynamic duos, and one of my personal favorites by far, I think many people's personal favorites honestly, we're getting ready to go to the next dynamic duo in this part 2, and another classic one here is Captain Marvel movie and Nick Fury. This is another one a lot of people like. In fact, I had many people mad at me this synergy was not in part 1. So people were mad about the Omega Red and Colossus too. I actually had to cut that one out based on time on the first part. But on this synergy, we're seeing each energy charge lasts an additional 1 second while in binary ignition with Nick Fury with Captain Marvel movie. You see that yellow timer there? I'm purposefully just kind of letting it go. You can keep getting more by doing the heavies, but I want to show you how slow it goes. It's an extra second longer. When you're using it without Nick Fury, those binaries go down so quick. All you can really do is parry heavy, trying to keep them up. Can't really play. So with Nick Fury, I actually completely dislike using Captain Marvel movie without Nick Fury, honestly. Is she technically dependent on the synergy? No, but she's just not really fun to play without him because those binary go so quick. With them, you take your sweet time and you can just play what you do. You also see she's great. She's got those indestructible abilities there. I'm going to make sure to take some hits on that so you can see what we got there. I'm going to purposely take this S3. I pushed Crossbones up to S3 so that I can show you one of the cool things about Captain Marvel movie is you got that indestructible. When done correctly, if you're not sure how I'm using her or Nick Fury, I have tutorials on both of them. So as always, check my champ tutorials. A lot of the champs you'll see me using content, I will have tutorials a good chunk of the time. And that is 100% true for both Captain Marvel movie and Nick Fury for this dynamic duo. So we're seeing that indestructible. We're seeing those Furies going up on them with that binary. And just look at what she can do once you get her rolling. And ironically, she was on my list I did maybe a month or two ago of champs who I've ranked up, but I wouldn't mind ranking down if I could because I don't use her that much. I really love her. Her play style, to me, she's not fun to play without Nick Fury. She's just not that fun to play without him. And they're kind of different champs. So sometimes they go well together, sometimes not as much. But as we see, she can do some amazing stuff. So I'm not always the biggest fan of her play style, but when I need her, when she's out there, she does some amazing stuff, especially with this synergy, really making this synergy, this dynamic duo between her and Fury, easily one of the best out there in the game between the two because both are amazing champs already. And when you put them together, they just add that extra bit. So let's check out the Nick Fury show now going on. So this synergy can increase the length of the tactical charges. Although, honestly, I don't usually rely too much on tactical charges and the first life of Fury, but he most certainly can. But we see those tactical charges there, took a couple hits. We see how slow they're going. So if you were trying to build them up on his first life using those S1s or taking some hits, it would be very easy because you see how slow that timer is going. Without that, they go 1 second quicker, and it's very hard to keep them up without the Fury active. The synergy also helps other team members extending their Fury, so between them, this benefits the other team members. Everybody else on the team, if Nick is alive, their Fury buffs have a 20% increased duration. So, I'm sorry, all champions as far as within that batch, and makes a good thing. So those other people on your team, you got this team, it's going to bring a lot to other individuals. Bring that synergy, add a Hyperion on there, something like that. You could with those extra tidbits of those Furies could be very good overall. And of course, Nick Fury, even without the synergy, is an amazing champ. He is just a bleed guru as we see all those red numbers just flying, just melting. Look at this Black Panther just getting melted away. And again, if you're not too sure how I'm using or why I'm finding the way I am with him, we saw those unblockables going on in there too. That purposely went to the second life, got those past 15 on those tactical charges so I could show you that unblockable goodness, amazingness. But if you're not sure what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, check my champ tutorial on Nick Fury. Give you a little bit of a lot of bit on how to use him well and what he does oh so good. Just melt them away. Now let's get into our third one. This one is going to surprise a few people. Many people don't even know about this, I've learned. She-Hulk and Mr. Fantastic. So they have a direct synergy that is absolutely amazing. Watch those power stings up top. You see the damage being melted away. So I'm starting with She-Hulk. This synergy gives all science and tech. As long as I have She-Hulk and Mr. Fantastic together, all science and tech and the entire team get this synergy. Meaning they get those power stings up to 3 per debuff. So I give them defender debuffs. They get power stings up to equal to 60% of their attack rating when they use the special. So notice every time this Red Hulk here, I'm doing debuffs. I'm using Red Hulk. I'm using She-Hulk a little bit. You see that almost 10,000 right there. I'm using She-Hulk a little bit different than sometimes. I'm trying to make sure that I'm building up her Furies while baiting out those specials to keep those Furies going. But I'm also throwing some heavies in there. The reason I'm throwing those heavies in there is that adds the slow debuff. By doing the debuff, I'm getting those power stings on him. So this goes perfect with She-Hulk's playstyle because you get those Furies, you keep them going by baiting out the specials, which the more Furies, the easier to debate. So if you throw a heavy in there too, see 14,000 damage. Not only am I gaining those Furies, not only am I resetting those Furies timer, but I'm also another almost 15,000. I'm getting anywhere between 7 to 15,000 damage every time they throw the special in addition to resetting that Fury. Tell me that's not amazing. Any She-Hulk loving player out there has to love this synergy if they're aware of it or not, because it fits in. Very few synergies fit in. 22,000 right there, almost 23,000 for that, just by doing the heavies, getting that debuff with the synergy. So if you just watch this little clip on this video, you watch Red Hulk give himself a good, 200,000 damage from the synergy, just baiting those specials in like 2 minutes. Yeah, it's that good of a synergy. And it's not just She-Hulk who gets this synergy. It is also Mr. Fantastic. It is any other tech and science in your team. So not only does that make them a dynamic duo, it makes everybody, all those tech and science on your team for that quest, super dynamic, amazing. So we're going to look at the Mr. Fantastic side of the synergy. So it gives him the same synergy, putting them together causes synergy. We're seeing those power stings. So every time I give a debuff, we see 10,000 damage right there. Same thing like She-Hulk. Unlike She-Hulk, though, Mr. Fantastic will max out if I keep resetting them. So after a certain point in time, you'll see those power stings stop. If I wanted to bring the power stings back, I could just go ahead and let those debuffs expire. I personally don't like doing that because I'm running suicides, so that's meaning extra recoil for me in order to use those S2s to get those debuffs back up. And I'm also going to show you, so I'm showing you these power sting items. I'm also going to show you some ramp up Mr. Fantastic because it's a criminal how underrated he is in my opinion. There's a few champs I just think are just so criminally underrated. Him, Odin, there's just a few of them. I did a video on my top pick for most underrated in the game recently. I recommend checking that, the most underrated middle class per each tier. And there's some who are just considered so-so champs by some because of their ratings on opinionated tier lists when they're just supreme champs overall. So here what I'm going to do is show you just a little bit of the damage Mr. Fantastic can do. This is just a regular LOL fight, nothing crazy going on here, because he just has some major underrated. Most people understand his great teamwork and synergies, but they understand that he's got some nice great utility, but his attack is just really underrated. So while I'm showing you some Mr. Fantastic, I'm going to show you some of his damage. So we just saw 40,000 S3, not bad, I'll take it, but look at these. So we're seeing these basics around 9 to 10,000 on those crits, 31,000 heavy. Just a 1-5, there's not any real ramp up. All I did was get his debuffs up. And we'll see those debuffs, 3 of each. I use his pre-fights. I did 2 S2s. I keep doing heavies to reset it, another 31,000 heavy right there. So he's very easy to ramp up. It just takes his pre-fights, which you can use every single fight. As long as you end the fight with the debuffs, you're going to get those again. You can use them for every single fight. I have a tutorial on Mr. Fantastic as well I recommend watching. Amazing champ. So I'm hoping you enjoyed part 2 of these dynamic duos. If you haven't, be sure to check 1, see which duos I put over there. Maybe more to come. Don't forget to click that top left icon and subscribe to Mcoc Albundyrules. Don't forget to turn those notifications on. Watch some more of my other goodies and playlist tutorials. Thanks for watching.